Welcome to the first episode of the Nelco Comics Cover Story podcast. We are going to be doing little quick shots where we talk about the covers of our favorite comics. We're not going to be talking about the story inside. We're not going to be talking in depth about anything. We'll be going over who the artists were, a little bit, very little bit about their life. Most of them you'll know, like Jack Kirby, the first one here we're doing today. We'll talk a little bit about the color that was used and what I think about. I say we. I'm here by myself. What I think about the color, what I think about the action that's going on. I am not an artist. So this is all just my opinion of the comics. We may have a guest come in every now and then, or Bill, our historian, will be here, or Philip, the owner, will be here, and then they can chime in. But this is just stuff we have in the store. I want to do this, talk about it, and maybe get some interest. People come in and they'll think about covers differently instead of just going, "Oh, look, the cover, look what's inside." No, let's look at the covers, because the covers are what get our attention. Sometimes we buy comics because of the covers. I need to stop hitting the table. I do that all the time. But a lot of times the cover is why we buy it. We may not be looking for a particular title, and we see a cover that's bright or exciting or both. And so we'll get it. So the cover's the first impression we have of the comic. The cover's the first impression anybody has of the comic. So I want to talk about it. I keep saying we. I want to talk about it. So I will be doing that. Today we'll be doing Avengers 1. Oh, some notes. My camera is up here. My screen is down here where the comic is that I'm recording. They'll be on the same screen when you see this, but I'm not that wide. My eyes don't split like that. And also over here to the side and down, I have my notes. So when I'm not looking at the camera, I'm reading something or looking at the comic cover. So here we go. Our first one for the first episode is the Avengers #1. We do have this in the store. It is for sale. If you want to come in, this particular copy is listed at $9.99, say $1,000. It is in very rough shape. It does, according to the notes, have some missing pages. 2 pages are missing, but it's not story pages. They're just ad pages. We will not be using this cover to talk about the colors or anything because it's faded. But we can talk about this one, because I got this one off the internet, so it's much brighter. This is probably actually more bright than the original cover was on the page, and you can see where I got it off of Marvel's website. So we will talk about this. We'll go in the cover story. We'll go in a little bit into the artists, a little bit into the colors, a little bit into the actions. Again, most of this is just my opinion. Any research, any data I come up with is my research. So if it's wrong, it's because I didn't research it properly, or I misinterpreted what I found. I am not a historian. I am not an artist. So I'm not critiquing the artwork. I may not like something, but that's not a critique of it. That's just a personal preference. It's like this one, Kirby. Kirby's a classic. Some of Kirby's work I really, really like. Most of Kirby's work I don't. It's not my preference. The take away from his body of his work is just a personal thing. So that's kind of just going to be the way it is here. It's just my opinion for a few minutes. And then next week we're going to do, or next episode, I don't know if it'll be next week or in a couple days, but next episode will be Amazing Spider-Man #39 with Green Goblin and Spidey on the cover. So, but either way, Nelco Comics Cover Story, Avengers #1, 1963. Obviously, Jack Kirby, probably the most well-known comic book artist. Certainly one of the most popular. I do like some of Kirby's work. I don't prefer most of it. He's got that trademark that's here around Thor's hand, where the hand is out, spread, and pointed, and his fingers are always blocky. And I just never really cared for it. It's kind of a pose that just everybody did in the comics, and I was never really a big fan of that. Again, personal preference. But Kirby, he lived from 1917 to 1994. So he was 76, 75, 76 when he died. And Jack Kirby did it all. He worked for everybody. He worked for DC. He worked for Marvel. He did Superpowers, New Gods, Fantastic Four, the Avengers. He really did just about everything. Kirby influenced so many artists that you can still, in 2024, see Kirby's style in other people's work because he was that prolific. And in a lot of cases, he was that good. I just was never a fan. And then I know people are going to put me down for that, but I like some of his work. His Doctor Doom is, as far as I'm concerned, Kirby's Doctor Doom is Doctor Doom. All the ones that came after it are pretenders. I never liked any of the other Doctor Dooms, but the look of Jack Kirby's Doctor Doom is Doctor Doom, and it always will be, even when he was posed with his hand all spread out. So I do like some of his work. I like The Thing. I actually kind of like his Hulk in this cover here. It's much more of a brutish Hulk than much more of a brute Hulk than what we have later on. That's all sleek and bodybuilders. This is a Hulk. This is the way he's supposed to look. So this is one of the classic Kirby covers. And again, you can see the difference between the screenshot and the one we have, but the colors are all there. It's just faded. As to the action, what I'll be talking about is three phases of action. A phase that's on the image that we see, this action. This action implies something that happened before, and it implies something that happens after. Now, I'm not talking about the contents of the story, so I'm not going to say, well, this went on and then this happened. No, because I'm not reading the stories, even if I've already read them. I'm just talking about the cover. I'm just talking about what the cover suggests. And we all know that the scenes from the covers are very seldom actually in the comics, at least in a pure form. They may be suggestive of something that happens in the comic, in the issue. But very seldom is that scene in the comic. So what do we have here? We have the Avengers, 5 of them. Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. They're all squaring off against Loki, and they are coming for battle. Loki's threatening them, I'll destroy you all. Thor's already spinning his hammer. Hulk has already braced for combat to the point where he's breaking the floor, and he's ready to come along. Ant-Man and Wasp are coming in low, and Iron Man's just standing there. There's almost no motion implied with Iron Man. His leg is bent over here. His leg is bent. But let me make this bigger. His leg is bent here, so he's walking. But I mean, he's Frankensteining it is what he's doing. This is not a good action pose. Of course, I also have to wonder, why is he smiling? Of course, we know he's not smiling. We know that these slots go horizontally around the helmet, and he's leaned forward. Makes it look like a smile. But I was like, oh, Iron Man's smiling, ready for the battle. Sorry, I didn't mean to zoom way out like that. But he's just kind of a dud. He's just standing there. There's no action at all. Everybody else is moving, or in the Hulk's case, preparing to move. And even Loki, even though there's no motion, he's got his arms spread, almost as if to say, just, well, come on, and it's what he's saying. Come on, bring it. I'll take you all on. Now, this implies beforehand that Loki had to show up, obviously. So Loki showed up and gave everybody enough time to get ready. So either Banner had to change into the Hulk, or he was already the Hulk. Iron Man may have been lounging around in the Mod 1 Mark III armor, but he may not have been, so he would have had to get the armor on. Thor may or may not even have been Thor. He may have been Dr. That's where I'm blanking on the name. Oh, either way. May not have been Thor. He may have been in his mortal form with the cane. So we don't know. But so Loki had to show up, and everybody got ready for battle. Now they're approaching battle, and of course that implies that the next action scene would be the battle, which may or may not be in the comic. I haven't looked at it to see. Again, we're just talking about what the cover implies. So it implies a great big battle. We know that if Loki is if Loki's an Asgardian like Thor, he's going to be very strong, and so it's going to be a knockdown, drag out. So action, but this cover has the action that attracts us. The motion of the still image, but there's motion in this image. We have the swoops of Ant-Man. We have the hammers. Oh, the hammer's Thor. Thor's hammer. And even the Hulk's pose all imply motion. They all indicate motion, and that attracts the eye. Now the color, there's just so much color on this, and it's all primaries. It's reds and greens and yellows and blues and whites, and it's just all bright and distinct individual colors. Nothing's blurred. Nothing's, question, what color is that? None of that. So we have the Mod 1 Mark III armor, which is the golden armor, or yellow, depending on what particular issues you find, but the golden armor for Iron Man. And it matches Loki's helmet and glove. So we've got this color, and Thor's boot wraps. So we have this arc of yellow across the page, boxed in by the green and the red. Again, I'm not an artist, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. So just keep your comments polite. But there's color. It's all distinct. Even the Hulk's. Notice, Hulk is not wearing torn pants. He's wearing his purple boxers. The Hulk in his boxers, no pants. They're not torn. He's in shorts. Usually you see Hulk in torn purple pants. Again, purple, there's so much purple in comic book covers nowadays. The next one, Spider-Man 39, is so much purple and green. But, and then we have, okay, I don't want to do that. Even down here we have, I know when you zoom in it pixelates, but even Ant-Man's colors, you can see the skin tone on his face and the skin tone on it. You can see her microphone. I believe she has a little microphone there next to her mouth. You can see these things because the colors in the artwork is so distinct. Her wings are colored, but you can see through them to see the wrap on Thor's legs. Now his ants are gray. I don't know why the ants are gray. And I don't know why they're flying. But they're flying without wings, and he doesn't have wings, so they're flying gray ants. Wingless flying gray ants. And you would expect the ants to be a dark red or a black. I know if they were black, there wouldn't be a whole lot of detail they could put in. But you can even see the detail of their mandibles. So the artwork is sharp, the colors are sharp, and the use of color is great. It brings you in. There's red here, there's red here, there's red here, there's red here in the text box. So the red frames everything. And then inside the red, we have the yellow, we have the green spot, the green dividing it. This is just wonderful use of color for a layman like me. Thor's hand is turned a little weird. His hand it's not outright like this, it's up backwards. But again, that's Kirby and his hands. Kirby just had to always have a hand up in your face. And so he did that with Thor, and it looks a little twisted. I don't mean demented, I mean physically twisted out of shape. But the use of color here is great. I got a tangent on the hand, sorry. But they may have actually made these ants gray so that they would show up better than a dark red or something, because there's already so much red on the scene that the dark red may have kind of blended into the Ant-Man's legs or something. I don't know. But either way, it's beautiful use of color. Primary colors, nothing confusing, all very distinct, and you know who's who very easily. Now, there is an error on the original cover, and I've heard that when they reprinted it later, they corrected this error. I have not seen that. But the error is that we have Thor on the banner, we have Ant-Man on the banner, and we have Hulk banner on the banner. We have Iron Man on the banner. We don't have the Wasp on the banner with all the others. So that is an error, and she's not even up here in the corner box. I don't know if they added her in the corner box later or not, but I've been told that they added her to the banner when they reprinted this magazine. But the original, even the original we have, does not have her on the banner or on the in the corner box. And I don't know who did the artwork here, but the Hulk really is, and it's not great artwork in the corner box. You'd think they could have done better. Boy, that pixelates real quick. Sorry. They could have done better in the corner box, you think. On the cover, there are no key moments other than it being Avengers #1. Inside the issue, I don't know if there's any key moments or not, but on the cover, there are no key moments. We have a whole bunch of people. We have Ant-Man. It's not his first appearance. His first appearance was, according to my research, Tales to Astonish #27 in '62. The Wasp, Tales to Astonish #44 in '63. Hulk, in the Incredible Hulk #1, '62. Again, my research, I could be wrong. Thor, Journey into Mystery, '83 in '62. Loki, Journey into Mystery, '85, also in '62. And then we have Iron Man. His first appearance was Tales of Suspense '39, but this is the Mod 1 Mark III armor, according to what I've been able to find out. And I cannot find a first appearance listed for the Mod 1 Mark III armor. I think there's a first appearance listed for the Mod 1 Mark II armor, but I can't find a first appearance for this Mod 1 Mark III, the gold, this version of the golden armor. If you find it, if you know of it, put it in the comments below so we can share that later if we ever have a need to. So I can't find a first appearance for this armor. But according to what I've been able to find out, this is the Mod 1 Mark III armor, and that's because of the chest pieces, the 3 chest pieces here, and the slots on the helmet, I think, is how I identified it. Again, I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on any of this stuff. But either way, this is a wonderful cover. It's a good cover to start the Cover Story podcast with. Nelco Comics is in San Antonio, 1134 North Flores, in San Antonio, Texas. We are open Wednesday through Sunday, and we have probably the largest Silver Age collection of comics in San Antonio. We certainly have probably the largest collection of old comics for sale in San Antonio. So come down, visit our website, nelcocomics.com. So a lot of our wall comics are up there. More will be going up soon. You can purchase them through the website if you want. But please, come by and visit us. Go to the website and visit us. Like and subscribe so that we can keep making more of these. And I will see you next time.